From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your afternoon update.
Dennis's Heating and Air Conditioning is Northern California's premier heating and air conditioning contractor. From residential housing, large commercial projects, installation to repair, sheet metal fabrication, and everything in between, we are your go-to heating and air conditioning specialist.
Hello everyone, meteorologist Mike Kruger here. It's your afternoon update. I want to remind you that as the storm progresses, I want your storm photos. I got plenty of pictures of the snow from yesterday. Now as we start getting more and more of these flooding type conditions that could eventually happen within the next 12 to 24 hours, send in your storm photos. Let me know your location, and of course if you're dealing with snow, which in this case not necessarily, your elevation as well. So you can share your photos very easily from the free Weather NorCal app. Just search for Weather NorCal in your app store, and you've got the app right there on your phone, and it's very easy to share those photos. All right, I've been kind of showing you this graphic to kind of start things off to let you know what I'm tracking, and it's that flood potential. So really we're switching gears, and we're not focusing so much on the snow that we saw yesterday, but more on the reaction to all of this rain that we have seen. And we're eventually going to start to see more flooding. We're starting to see those creeks and streams and rivers begin to rise, and they'll get even worse and getting closer to that flood stage in many cases here, and in some cases even exceeding that flood stage. We'll get to that here in just a second. Now the snow levels are rising today. That's good news. That's going to really help with those chain requirements. But the snow levels will then drop again as we go into the weekend, which means more chain requirements. However, the snow that we do see by the weekend isn't going to be nearly as heavy as what we saw yesterday. And the winds, yes, we have another wind event coming in sometime tonight and tomorrow morning. That could lead to the potential for more power outages. Hey, take a look at these rainfall totals we did see in the last 2 days. We are now approaching 5 inches for Redding and especially Chico, and this is the last 2 days. 3.82 in Red Bluff, 3.86 Willows along the coast, about 3.84 for both Eureka and Crescent City. Hoopa, 4.6 there. But look at that, less than even half an inch out towards Alturas and Susanville. And there you can see, of course, when you melt that snow down from Mount Shasta, plus the rain that they've seen, a little over 10 inches. All right, take a look at the latest chain requirements as of about 11:30 this morning. You can see that basically Highway 89, that looks like I-5, but that's actually Highway 89, all the way down to Highway 299. So that's basically where we're seeing the chain requirements now. But I-5 is open. You can still see the closure of Scott Mountain on Highway 3. There you can see Highway 139 and then Highway 44, Bogard Ranger Station and near Susanville. Some chain requirements there. But otherwise, a much better situation out there. And by the way, if you want to check out the latest road conditions, it's very easy to do that. All you have to do is go to weathernorcal.com and then scroll down here where it says road conditions. Click on that image and it will take you to just a quick glance of some of the more popular Caltrans cameras. You can just very easily see all of the pictures right there, and then a quick link to a quick map as well to give you the latest on those chain requirements. So be sure to check that out. Here's your neighborhood at a glance for the rest of the afternoon today. Windy and higher snow levels and more rain in the forecast. Of course, there's no big surprises there, right? We can clearly see that atmospheric river right here, and this is not moving anytime soon, at least for today. We will eventually see it shift to the south by tomorrow. That's that setup, right? There's that atmospheric river. Now, look what happens as we go into Friday, right? It's starting to shift to the south. However, it's to our south over the Bay Area, and we're still seeing a little bit of that sliver come up towards places like Plumas County, eastern Lassen County. But the rest of us, by Friday afternoon, will no longer really be under the influence of that main flow of that atmospheric river, which means any rain we get from that point forward will just be in the form of some scattered showers and maybe even a few thunderstorms for Friday afternoon and Saturday. Then by Saturday and Sunday, that atmospheric river is pointed more towards Southern California and no longer at least our headache, right? We take a look at Futurecast, and now we can of course see we're still under that influence of that atmospheric river for the rest of the day today. Clearly seeing that 5 p.m. Notice, by the way, not a lot of rain coming in to parts of Del Norte County. However, as we go into tonight, we're going to see it. See how the flow is doing more like this? Now we're seeing it kind of tilt this way. That's because the area of low pressure is continuing to dive to the south, and that's causing this to kind of go in this direction. So we're going from here now to here. And that's why, as it tilts in that direction, we see it make its way back into Del Norte County with heavier rainfall. And by the way, gusty winds at this point, which we'll take a closer look at here in a second. Then that shifts to the east. So 6 a.m., still under the influence of that atmospheric river. You can clearly see some of that rain, but we're beginning to see how it's breaking apart? So right here, some of that leftover moisture from the atmospheric river. So in Modoc County, Lassen, and Plumas County, that's noon on Friday. Otherwise, behind it, cold and unstable, scattered showers, maybe even a few thunderstorms. Now you'll notice, even at 6 p.m., we're still seeing some of that moisture in parts of Plumas, in Lassen, and also into Modoc County. These are areas that haven't seen much rain, but may start to see a lot more rain going through the day on Friday. And here's, of course, the scattered showers, maybe some thunderstorms there. Then it looks like finally, as you can see, Saturday morning, it's gone. No longer looking at that influence of the atmospheric river, but now we've got colder air moving in. Look at the snow levels. They're beginning to drop again. And that could quite possibly make its way onto I-5 for Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon. But we're not seeing a prolonged period of snowfall. It'll be kind of a brief period of some snow, and then it kind of moves on out, and then scattered snow flurries after that, and still could see some scattered showers and possible thunderstorms for parts of the valley, and maybe even for the coast as well. Boy, there's a lot to unpack here, right? First and foremost, this right here is a flood watch. Where you see these greens, that's either a flood advisory or a flood warning. Again, it's a lot to, I could sit here and just analyze and talk about all of them. It would take forever. But bottom line is this: flooding is going to be a concern. Rising creeks and streams and rivers. Flood-prone areas, low-lying areas could see some flooding. And we also can't forget to talk about the potential for mudslides and debris flows, especially around the burn-scarred areas. Now, just kind of a little bit closer here from McKinleyville and out towards Fortuna, this is where we do have a flood warning. Now, this is mainly in response to the fact that, for example, you'll notice the forecast for the for Mad River near Arcata is going to make it just to that minor flood stage. The flood stage is 22 feet, okay? But you can see it's forecasting it up to 22.4. So to just get above that, that's tomorrow morning, Friday morning, okay? Let's take a look at Eel River. This one's expected to get into the major phase. Now, the major flood stage is 25 feet. It's expected to crest at 25.3. Okay, so just above that. But then that's Friday morning, and then Friday afternoon, it's just as we go into Saturday, you can see it begins to drop after that. We take a look at Van Dusen River. This is near Bridgeville. This is going to barely make it into the minor stage as well, just a little over 17 feet. That's the forecasted crest that you're seeing right there. Just over that, that will also drop. By the way, take a look at the Sacramento River at a couple of places here, mainly staying below the flood stage. However, you can see here, Sacramento River at Tehama Bridge. Now, the flood stage here is 209.5, right? It's expected to get right at that point. So just barely make it to the minor flood stage. But the rest of the areas along the Sacramento River should stay below that flood stage. There's Vina-Woodson, there's Ord Ferry, still below that minor flood stage. So just kind of wanted to give you a quick look at that. All right, here's a look at the forecast rainfall totals today through Friday at 5 p.m. Could see another 2 to close to 3 inches. We'll tack on for Saturday, see what Saturday brings us through Saturday night. So basically anywhere from 1.5 to close to 3 inches of rain in the valley. A lot more than that off to the east. We're finally seeing some decent rain here off to the east here as well, in about 1 to 1.5 inches out along the coast. Still have a winter storm warning until 10 o'clock tonight for northern Trinity County, also until 10 o'clock tonight above 7,000 feet for Lassen and eastern Plumas. And this winter storm watch will take effect Friday through Tuesday. That's that colder air moving in by the time we do get into the weekend. So the forecast snow totals, you're not going to see much for tomorrow, maybe a little bit for some of those highest elevations above 6,000 feet. But then as we go into Saturday, yes, we're starting to see those snow levels drop. And then more places will start to see that, maybe down to about 3,000, 3,500 feet. So there you can see the rain that we're seeing now. There's that atmospheric river. Then we can see as we go into your Friday, that next system coming in, still looking at that, giving us that moisture. But then by Saturday, it's down to our south. And now we've got this area of low pressure here. and there are these disturbances rotating around that low pressure. That's what's going to give us a chance for off and on showers Saturday, which maybe even could bring us a few thunderstorms on Sunday. There you can see that spinning of that low. That's bringing in more disturbances on Monday and possibly even Tuesday of next week. But then by Wednesday, Thursday, which is Thanksgiving, and Friday of next week, look at that ridge of high pressure building in. That's going to mean drier conditions. I'm beginning to see a little bit more consistency with that solution. We'll have to wait and see, but it looks like this unsettled pattern will probably stick around through at least Tuesday before we start to dry things out after that. Rainfall outlook through Wednesday. Of course, by the time we get into Wednesday, it's dry, but now we're starting to see these numbers get smaller because the heaviest rainfall is going to be behind us here soon, and then we've just got to get through some of these unsettled days. So there's the peak of the atmospheric river today, and then after today we start to slowly see it. So after Friday, going Friday into Saturday, we're no longer looking at that atmospheric river. It's going to stay to our south. The winds, let's talk about the winds again. All right, so we did have a high wind watch for Humboldt County. That has been downgraded to a wind advisory from 4 p.m. today until 4 a.m. tomorrow with gusts between 50 and 60. Now, the high wind watch for Delaware County was upgraded to a high wind warning. This is through Friday morning as well. Gusts 50, 60, even 70 miles per hour. That's also the case for Central Siskiyou, Northeastern Siskiyou, and Modoc County. And it looks like now we have a wind advisory, which I'll take a look at that. I'm going to go ahead and click on that and see what it says, because that just came out as I was recording this. Yeah, that's what I was expecting here. It's expected to expire at 10 a.m. Friday morning. And I'm going to tell you a reason why. We'll take a look at those winds, and you can kind of see the timing of all this. Today, it's just going to be gusty out there, right? That's what we've seen. Now, as we go into late tonight, early tomorrow morning, look at the strongest winds here along the coast, and these reds indicating 50 miles an hour or so. Then we go into Friday morning, there it is. See those very strong winds in the valley that we're seeing tomorrow morning, but the winds are starting to die down for the coast. And then Friday afternoon, strongest winds are off to the east, and then it looks like by Saturday, we have significantly weaker winds. So it's going to be one of those things where its strongest winds are on the coast tonight, early tomorrow morning, early morning for the valley and of course Central Siskiyou County, and then later in the day, off to the east as that system passes on through. All right, so here's your forecast for the rest of the day today. Temperatures are going to be in the mid-50s. Of course, that rain, that goes without saying. Temperatures in the 40s for most of the higher elevations, and we're talking temperatures in the upper 50s for your daytime highs for the coast. Here's your 7-day outlook. Now, what I've done here since this morning, I've included another chance for thunderstorms here on Saturday. Otherwise, just scattered showers Friday and Saturday, more scattered showers off and on for Sunday through Tuesday. I'm keeping that chance in there for Wednesday, but probably by this evening, I'll be taking that out here and calling for drier conditions by then. Could even see some thunderstorms for the coast on Friday, Saturday, otherwise scattered showers for the rest of us after today, although some of that heavier rainfall for places like Susanville and maybe even Alturas going into your Friday. Snow level still fairly high, above 6,000 feet, and then they do begin to lower a little bit here, keeping that off and on chance for showers here, especially for Monday, Tuesday, most likely drying out by Wednesday. That's your afternoon update. I'll be back again this evening at 6. Till then, have a great afternoon.
Barr & Mudford is a top, established firm here in the North State. Founded over a half-century ago, Barr & Mudford is protecting the rights of our neighbors and community. We take our commitment to our clients very seriously and provide a level of excellence unrivaled in the North State. Barr & Mudford, standing up for the rights of our neighbors and our beautiful community, serving Northern California with excellence.